From a crowded field of 18 candidates down to the final two, tonight, the eyes of the nation are on Georgia for what has become the most expensive race of its kind in U.S. history. This is the WSB 6th Congressional District Debate, live from the WSB TV studios in Midtown Atlanta. Here's your moderator, Justin Farmer.
Good evening, and welcome to this live debate for Georgia's 6th Congressional District. I'm Justin Farmer. This is the first runoff debate and the only one live in prime time. We also want to welcome everyone who is watching from Georgia and around the nation on our Facebook page and at WSBTV.com, or maybe you're listening this evening on WSB Radio. So let's set the scene tonight, as this race is not only important to Georgians, it's getting a lot of national attention.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
With this swearing-in ceremony, Georgia officially needed a new member of Congress to send to Washington. Representative Tom Price left his seat in the 6th District when asked to join the Trump administration as Secretary of Health and Human Services. Replacement candidates quickly emerged. It was a crowded field of 18, all hoping to become Georgia's newest member of Congress. The 6th District, covering parts of Cobb, DeKalb, and Fulton counties, has been a Republican stronghold for decades. Price's predecessors include now U.S. Senator from Georgia Johnny Isakson and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. On April 18th, the field narrowed to two, Democrat Jon Ossoff and Republican Karen Handel, both winning the top two spots for a place in the runoff.
Very pleased with the result and ready to fight on to June.
Very exciting, and what happened last night was very encouraging.
The eyes of the nation, particularly in Washington, quickly turned to Georgia. Money has been pouring in from around the country, making this race the most expensive congressional race in history. Here's what's at stake. Out of the 435 seats in the House, 239 are currently held by Republicans. Democrats hold 193 seats. 3 seats, including the Georgia 6th, are vacant. With a win in Georgia, Republicans are hoping to solidify their stronghold in Congress, while Democrats are hoping to make a statement against President Trump in a traditionally Republican district. Some say the results could foreshadow midterm election results in 2018. And now it is time, so let's meet the candidates. We determined podium position tonight by drawing. First, Republican Karen Handel. Ms. Handel is a former Georgia Secretary of State and Fulton County Commission Chair. She also has experience in executive management. And Democrat Jon Ossoff. Mr. Ossoff is a former congressional aide, businessman, and investigative filmmaker. We thank you both for being here tonight at WSB. And to question the candidates, I am joined by our panel. Greg Bluestein, political reporter with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Condace Presley, manager of programming operations for WSB Radio. And Channel 2 political reporter Richard Elliott. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to questions tonight, 30 seconds for rebuttal at my discretion. I have the first question this evening, and it is for each of you. It is clear that the world is being terrorized. How far do you think the United States should go to protect all of us, its citizens? For example, the president says he believes that a travel ban is part of the answer. What do you say? And by coin toss, we start with Ms. Handel.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe it's necessary to do everything we possibly can to protect American interests and particularly American citizens. So in terms of the president's travel proposal, it is a temporary, limited halt for 6 countries that are known to harbor terrorists. I do not, let me be clear, I do not support a religious litmus test, but I do support vetting individuals coming into this country, particularly from those countries. We need to give the Homeland Security team time to evaluate the criteria that they're using for the vetting so that we can make sure that individuals coming into this country are not set on terrorizing our citizens.
Mr. Ossoff.
Well, we need a strong counterterrorism policy to protect our territory, the territory of our allies, from threats that are homegrown and who seek to infiltrate our territory and conduct attacks. We need strong intelligence sharing relationships with our allies. And we need to continue to take it to ISIS in Syria and Iraq, applying U.S. air power in coordination with local partners such as the Kurds, with the very limited deployment of U.S. Special Operations Forces. What we should not do is get drawn into a major ground war in Iraq and Syria. We can accomplish our objectives in Iraq and Syria through the use of air power in coordination with those local partners.
So yes or no on a temporary travel ban, Mr. Ossoff?
Well, I think that a policy which restricts travel simply on the basis of the country of origin from which a traveler emerges is not effective. We need an intelligence-driven approach. We need an approach that identifies threats before they attempt to enter the country, and then an approach that polices threats that emerge from within the United States within the bounds of the Constitution.
Richard Elliott.
And to piggyback on that question a bit, this will be for both of you. We've seen terrorist attacks in the UK and what is believed to be a terrorist attack at Notre Dame in France just this afternoon. What can we do to keep Americans safe? And this is the important part, without sacrificing freedoms, without sacrificing individual liberties. I'll start with you, Mr. Ossoff.
Time now, please, for the candidates to ask one another a question. And each candidate will get a single question tonight, a 1-minute response, rebuttals at 30 seconds. We determine tonight's order for this by drawing, and John Ossoff, you have the first question.
Thank you, Justin. Secretary Handel, we touched on this a bit earlier, and I want to come back and understand your track record a little bit better. When you took the job at the Susan G. Komen Foundation, an organization committed to the fight against breast cancer, and you knew that Planned Parenthood breast cancer screenings were a key partnership for that foundation. As I understand it, you nevertheless went in and you led an effort to defund life-saving breast cancer screenings at Planned Parenthood. And as has been reported, this cost the Komen Foundation tens of millions of dollars or more in lost revenues after you resigned amidst the scandal, because folks had lost faith in the organization while you were leading it. I suppose my question is, and again the question so many voters in the 6th District have is, if you were committed to going in and defunding breast cancer screenings at Planned Parenthood, why did you take the job in the first place?
First of all, John, I was one of hundreds of employees at the Komen Foundation. Secondly, I was tasked by the CEO and chairman of the board to develop options for how the organization could disengage from Planned Parenthood. Why? Because the grants were not effective. And it has been debunked over and over again, and it doesn't matter how many times you say it. It does not make it true. Planned Parenthood does not do mammograms, period, end of paragraph. And when it comes to women's health, I have worked on this issue for virtually my entire career. Working in the White House under Marilyn Quayle, coordinating breast cancer awareness activities to help get Breast Cancer Awareness Month established in the month of October, to help at Komen preserve and protect the funding at the state level and the federal level for that critical breast and cervical cancer screening initiative. So I'm going to be, and far better than someone like my opponent, I'm going to be the front line of fighting for women, because I have been there and I have held the hands of women who have been fighting for their lives with breast cancer and other cancer. I am not going to be lectured by you, John.
Ms. Handel, your opportunity for a question from Mr.
Thank you. Thank you. So, John, I guess what I would like to know is exactly who are you going to vote for in this election?
Is that the question? Okay. Well, I think Secretary Handel is referring to my residence, which is a matter that I've addressed transparently throughout this campaign. I grew up in the 6th Congressional District. I was born and raised in Georgia, unlike Secretary Handel, who was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I live across from Emory University to support my fiancée while she finishes medical school. I'm proud to be supporting her career, even if I take a little bit of political heat for it.
To both of you and your campaigns, we appreciate you being here tonight and putting yourselves front and center for citizens. Our extensive coverage of this 6th District debate continues in just moments at WSBTV.com and on our Facebook page. And a live look at the Studio C now, where WSB TV, my colleague Javita Moore is preparing in-depth analysis of tonight's debate with some of the top political minds in our state. And we'll have a live poll on who you believe did the best tonight in this debate. Who won? I'll be joining Javita in just a few moments here, so we invite you to go to WSBTV.com right now for more coverage. And a reminder, Election Day, 2 weeks from today. It is Tuesday the 20th. We will bring you up-to-the-minute results and extensive live coverage here on Channel 2 Action News and online. Thank you to our candidates once again. Thank you to our panel, and a special thanks to you at home for watching and being involved in the political process. I'm Justin Farmer. Have a wonderful evening. Our extended coverage now at WSBTV.com.